Hello, YouTubers. Welcome. I'm live. I'm live because I wanted to just come on here and just talk about a few things because it is a Sunday and it's late in the United Kingdom, I know, and I apologize about that. But I just kind of did a few things before I went live, and I hope you forgive me for that. Hello, Lane and Lindsay and Elkie and Mary and Rita and Jen and Abby and Theo and Jimstone and oh my goodness, Athena, my daughter. No, it's another Athena. Hello. Wow. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hello. Uh-oh. 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 Here he comes. He hears me on the camera. Come on and jump up here, Mr. Otis. Look, here he comes. I tell you, every time. This is what it was like in the beginning when I would do my videos. I'd be doing my videos, and Otis would just be in the room with me. And as soon as he heard me talking on camera, he had to get up and sit next to me. He's like, "Well, who you talking to, woman?" He's like, "Who you talking to?" Yeah. And he wants to be here because he feels like there's some action happening, right? You feel like there's some action happening. And then before you know it, I just had to have him in my videos because it was just like, okay, just be here. Just be here. Okay. It's you and me, dude. You and me in the video. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mr. Otis, sit down though. Sit down. Okay. Let me take this off. I put him out for a little bit and yeah, because so he can kind of sniff and just see what's going. It's so nice here today in Ohio. It's really beautiful weather. To those who are from Ohio, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe in your part of the world, it's nice and sunny. I know it's late in England right now in Europe, so apologies. Otis, he's just is always watching me. He is just always watching me. He's everywhere. Everywhere I go, he goes. They say pugs are your shadow. They literally are. You're their shadow. Yeah. So. Well, thanks for being here with me. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate having you. I see some of you are from the or the East Coast, and you know how it is. It's the weather is really nice today, and it's staying lighter later, which is really nice because when it gets dark, like at 5 o'clock, that's depressing. That's depressing, right, Otis? That's depressing. It makes you feel like you need to be at home in bed. But yeah, so oh, it's cold in London, I hear. Okay. Yeah, it's really beautiful and nice here. It's really nice. I am just feeling really nice today because of the nice weather. But I wanted to jump on today and just talk about some things that are going on in the news and to let you all know that I finished editing my Kirby Summers video, so that's going to be going live tomorrow. Is my goal to get that live. YouTube did give me a couple copyrights on that video, so I have to make some edits and to re-upload it to see if it's okay. But yeah, it should be fine if I don't. I mean, it's an hour-long video, so I hope that if you watch it, you watch the whole thing to understand all the connections that Kirby is making with the allegations of Meghan Markle and her connection to Jeffrey Epstein and just the relationships. You know how they say there's always these 6 degrees of separation. When my husband and I were talking, we were like, yeah, it's like 2 degrees of separation with Meghan and her potential relationship to those in Epstein's world and her possible connection to being in this world and the things that she had seen, and who knows what she could have gone through as an actress trying to make it in Hollywood, the things that you go through, and especially those, and I have to put in especially those who are by any means necessary going to make it. There's a certain kind of a person that when you want something and you're put up with these things that go against like your morals, or that voice in your head that says, don't do that, don't do that. And you like, well, you know what? I got to make it. I don't care. I'm going to make it in this Hollywood. I'm going to do whatever I have to do by any means necessary. I'm just going to do it. There are those people that by any means necessary, they're going to get what they want to get. And I would, based on the things that I've seen, put Megan in that category, to think that I could see her doing things that some people wouldn't do. And when you look at that, you think, what is the likelihood that she crossed into this world that, with other women that were also in this really seedy world? What is the likelihood that Megan could have been in that world? And yeah, I don't know. I had a very good talk with her, and there's so much more that I want to follow up on from my conversation with her. It gets really, I mean, she's a deep researcher. This is a woman who researches. She's written several books. She knows her stuff, and she's connecting things that we've talked about and then maybe not even thought about certain connections. And you'll get some insight into that when you watch my discussion with her. So, I'm not a journalist, but I sit and I have discussions with people, and just to get information and to learn, and to find ways to understand things that we've been talking about. And like, I'm always about learning and understanding, and trying to find a way to get more knowledge around things. So please make sure you watch that video when I get that uploaded this week. Okay. Other thing, some of you were talking about on my website for the raffle. Let me go get them. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me go get it, because I didn't bring it right now. 1 second. Okay. So as you know, I'm having a free raffle. So you can go to, and I'll put it in the chat here. Let me just put it in the chat. Raffle is, and you may have to put in the full www for it to work, so that you can, let me see, my free raffle. And then there's a way to, let me see, let me pin this. Yes, pin the message. Okay, so that's the website for my raffle. So just go there. There's a link there now. There wasn't before, but the girl that works with me with my charity, she's taking anyone that wanted to be in the raffle and putting them in there. So if you just sent it through the newsletter, you got in that way as well. But now she made a link for me, so you can actually go to an official link to be in the raffle. And I am going to be giving away these Banksy of England pound. These here are from, I guess, this artist that's really famous in England, and he has these renditions of what the pound would look like had Princess Diana been queen. And I've got like several pounds of these. So now this is, I'm going to be giving away. You could win one of these. Okay. So if you like to win one, maybe you could frame it and put a picture of Diana in a frame and make something out of it, just as a memorial, or of remembering Diana. And has she been queen, she would have, would they have put her on the money, even if the King Charles was king? If she, I don't know. You can maybe let me know. I don't know. But yes, I'm going to be raffling these off. There's no charge. And I just want to kind of, do something fun, and then also see if you're interested in other things that I'll have coming up as well. I am trying to do a lot, and I've started again on my Patreon. So if you want to kind of learn more about myself and my private life and my time living in England and China and Germany, I do little videos. They're about 10, 20 minutes long. I usually get at least one video up a month, but my goal is to get between 1 to 3 up a month. So you can join my Patreon to see that, and you can join my higher tier Patreon to see my life with my children and occasionally my husband and my other family, my relatives and my crazy family. Is like a lot that goes on. So I'm just trying to expand my endeavors and things that I am doing. And yeah, that's something that if you want to be a part of, please head over there. Um, let's see here. What else is going on? Okay, so looking at this news around Camilla and Harry. Now we all know that Harry is trying to pressure Meghan to, you know, come with him to England because we know she doesn't want to go. We know she is beside herself having to go to England. She doesn't want to, and Harry knows that. I mean, he's in a real conundrum. Am I right? I mean, he's in a real conundrum. He has found himself in a position with his father being ill now and his life in America completely isolated from his family and his children isolated. There's no win for him. You know, there's no win for Harry. Literally, as we sit here in this moment in time, there's no win. Staying in America, in California, you're not winning. You're not living the best life. As a matter of fact, your life is going downhill because you are every day passing milestones and marks in your life that your children will never have in your home country. Okay, so we can just get the record straight on that. Okay, so that is his reality. The other side of that is going back to England to bring his wife and children and not getting, as we see, this higher tiered security that he fought desperately for, that he is not feeling as important as he would like to feel because they smacked it down like you're not going to get this special security that you think you need while in England. And a lot of interesting points were made about that. It's like you cannot pay for this kind of security. You cannot pay to have the police at your beck and call when you come to England whenever you want to, and they're just going to just protect you when you need it, when you just decide to come to England. Like, it don't work that way. And it's like, Harry is really put himself outside this circle. Before, he was in this inner circle of the elite, of privilege, and he could do a lot of things because he had this connection to the monarchy and what it stands for and its platform of power and being completely elevated above the realm of the common folk. But Harry literally has now put himself outside this circle. He's on the outside now, and he is seeing on the outside your life is not the same as when you're on the inside. Okay, this is why we love watching the royal family and we love reading about their lives, because we're not in that circle. We're not in that kind of privileged lifestyle that is so beyond what we could ever imagine. So this is why we are drawn to it. This is why I was drawn to Diana, because I could vicariously live through her life experiences as a princess. She's a princess. I just love Diana. And just watching her in her glow, I could live this life through watching her. And so Harry now has taken himself outside that prestige, that privilege that most people would love to be in, at least just for a day, if not to live it forever, but just to experience it. Like, what's it like, calling room service any time of day, 3 in the morning. Can you bring me up some cornflakes and bring me up a hot dog and some macaroni and cheese? Like you can just do whatever you want. I want to have a massage every day. Can I just have a massage every day? Or can I go to a state visit and meet with other kings and queens from other countries and do all these really like fancy things and go to these fancy dinners and meet these powerful people from all these different countries and go places where people are always trying to accommodate me and my needs? Being in that life I could only imagine how it could be. I just would be so beside myself happy, but I'm sure I'd probably get tired real quick. Just depends, right? It's just it's conjecture. It's one of those things. Well, you don't know unless you experience it, but it's fun to imagine. And here he's put himself in the world of a common person like me. Okay, so you mean to tell me you just going to throw away your life? You're going to throw it all away to be in the outside circle of the common man. Okay, literally, that's what he's done. You stepping outside the circle, but trying to create your own circle in America. Okay, wait a minute. That's a special circle, Harry. That's a special circle that when you're in this circle, you don't try to leave it. Okay. And you don't even think. I mean, how could you rationally think that you can take this very special circle you were born into and copy it, mimic it, and bring it to America where your title and everything that you are about is not even a part of the American system? You're not even on the radar of the American people thinking you are special. Like you just a man on the street. Okay. That we can recognize you because you Diana's son. You Diana, because we know Princess Diana. We love Princess Diana. So your whole being is through the relationship of the mother that has passed away. And you think now that you can take that which you are now as the son of this great woman, and you think you can now mimic that in America and it still means something. And it can still be the same thing that you had in England. Because don't get it twisted, folks. That American woman he married put that all in his head. She put it in his head to think that they could copy what was going on over in England. We're going to copy it. We're going to steal it. And we're going to make it happen for us in America because you Diana's son, Harry. You are Diana's son. And Diana was special. And we're going to do it here in America because I need to make my own rules. I can't listen and do things that the queen wants me to do. I can't do that. And I'm using this for my own well-being as an actress and someone who wants to get to the upper echelons of society my way. Because I say what happens to me. Okay? So this is why Harry had to conform to this with her in America. And his stupid butt did it. Left the special circle and thinks he can create a new circle with this woman in America. You got problems if you think you're going to just now be like a common person like me and think you're going to get special security. You're going to get security at your beck and call. No, you gave it up. You gave up your special juice, what it was about you that made you what you are, because you ain't got no talent. You don't know how to do anything that is going to give people the gumption to want to just sit and know more about you and to give you all the things that you deserved or you think you deserve. You don't have no talent. You have nothing special about you but but your birthright, and you threw that away. And how you think the audacity that you're now going to appeal, you're going to try to fight, that you get this special security. You think in your head that you are that special. This is how sick and twisted this boy is in his head because he's a boy. He is a boy. He doesn't know how to take care of his situation on his own abilities. He is relying on the lineage of the royal family, but trying to have his own lineage broken from that which gives him what he is special by. And you just can't do that. You can't cut off the connection and then think you can pick it back up in another country and it be substance. There's no substance. Here you're nothing. You are a complete fraud. And the fact that you think that people are going to give you this security that you can just on a whim of a hat have when you go visit England with a day's notice, like just like, oh, I feel like going to England today. Where's my security? Okay, protect me. You got your guns, you got everything. Okay. No. So you left your special circle and you're now in the circle that we common folk feel like, okay? Because I can be on a platform, I can have all these things that I say, and I don't have no security that it's going to be able to afford me the isolation of just, oh, I'm protected. I'm sitting here, I'm comfortable because I'm special. No, you're just a common person, Harry, now. You're nothing special. So welcome to the world of just being an average Joe Schmo. That's what you are, an average Joe Schmo. Get used to it. Okay? That's how I feel about you, Harry. Because you're getting on my nerves with your nonsense. And that Megan has put this all in his head, and he thinks that he is something that he is not. And so as he tries to make his way back to England now, oh, yes, he's trying to make his way back. He sees that he has messed up. I believe it's finally hitting him. And this is why when you see them out together, you don't have that same body language of Harry and Meghan walking together that we once had when they were together before, because now Harry is just holding hands or showing that he is with this woman for the sake of making his money. Now it's about making the money. Act like you still want to be with this woman. Okay, let's make it look good. Going out there, let me see what you got. What you gonna do? You gonna look like you're happy. Okay, look like it. So right now, Harry's life is all it's really it's the life of pretend. He is living a life of pretend now in order to eat, in order to make the money he needs to make now in this fairy tale land of America outside his royal circle. And so when you compound that with all these things and his children, I mean, let me just be a little bit personal with you right now, okay, everybody, because the reason why I speak on this as much as I do, because I went through it. And if any of you have purchased my book, I talk on it a little bit in my book. It was too painful for me to talk about in detail in my book. And I'm thinking about doing a second edition where I put all those details in there, but it took me years to get over what I went through. I was literally trapped in Germany. I could not leave the country. I had to stay there. And if I wanted to leave, I could not bring my son. I had to leave alone. And the moment I left without my son, I would have given up my rights to my child. And I probably would have never been able to keep him moving forward, because I've missed my family. I missed being in America. I remember when I lived in Germany, when I first got there, everything was so new and I loved it. But then the moment the judge said that I could not leave with my son to America, that's when it hit me. That's when it was like, I don't want to be here. And I missed America. I missed the American food and the streets and the buildings and just talking English. And it became, I was so broken from that experience. I lost so much weight. I became a shell. And it was like by far the most traumatic time in my life. And Harry, in a sense, is experiencing that because he will never be able to take his children to England without Meghan, because she knows that perhaps maybe her children will never come back to America. That's what I believe she's thinking. And so Harry is in this position now where he misses his home country desperately. He wants to be amongst what he knows and what he has grown up with, because it's not like he misses it in a way where he can just go visit. No, he misses that being his homeland. He misses it in a different kind of a way, that when he's in America, he says, "Oh, I love it. I love every day." No, you don't. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm going to tell you that right now, because his children, his legacy is vanishing. His legacy of everything that he has as a British man, as a man of the monarchy, is dwindling away. It's becoming more and more aloof. He the more his disconnect from royalty, the more he becomes a commoner. The more he becomes not really that which made him special in that circle. And that's why I make that equivalency between Christopher Reeve's character in Superman, and when he gave up everything for Lois Lane, and then he saw when he got beat up in the real world without his real powers, with what made him who he was, That's why he had to go back, because he couldn't do it. He just not he missed that which was familiar to him. And that's what's going to happen. That's what is happening to Harry. And why I think we speak on it so much is because we're watching all of it in real time. We talk about history. I'm doing my next videos on the Romanovs and how when they were murdered, and the other Romanovs, the people within the dynasty that were able to escape, that have their legacies now in other countries because they were able to get out the country before they were executed. I'm talking about that now, but can you imagine like living through that time in real life, watching these very special people in these circles, watching it as they go through all that they're going through the revolutions, and the things that were making the people, rise up against the monarchy, and just those experiences, those history making moments. That is what is fascinating. And so we live in a new time and day and era where we are now in a time where we are living through something that people never got to experience. They never got to live through the real life, up close and personal things of these special people in these special circles. And that's what is fascinating to me. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because it's interesting. It's interesting, and I can feel Harry's pain because I've been there and I know it very, very well. I know it very well, and I know that's what he's going through. And the sad thing is that he is in this position, this mindset to think that it will get better. Like, I'm going to convince my wife to come back with me. I'm going to convince her, and because you're starting to see it now. You're starting to see how Harry is starting to, long for that by wanting to bring Meghan and the children to England. Like, well, why? Why, Harry? Why you want to bring them? I mean, don't you love America? Isn't that you love every day of it? It shouldn't matter. You should want to be in America by any means necessary. Hey, have your 10-year anniversary in America for the Invictus Games. Oh, but this is a British thing that you got going on, huh? So that's not really like you can do that in America, right? Oh, you did you think about that, right? So now you kind of got to go back to where you were on that freedom flight. You thought you were doing some greatness. So now it's like the things are dawning. And I'm probably sure he hears his children speaking in that yin yang American. He's like, wait a minute. You sounding American. You have British. What you talking like that for? They're not going to get a lot of things, and it's really sad because you can raise children with both experiences, but they're not getting it. Those children are not getting both of those experiences. Ming is never going to allow those children, if there are children. I know some of you say there are no children, and there's something fishy going on. We know. So it's just like we're watching these things that you once could never watch in real time, and I'm very fascinated by it. Okay, so watch my other history video when the Romanovs is coming out, and yeah, I'm going to be changing some things on how I even present my other history videos, and I hope that you'll continue to watch those as much as you like the videos that I talk about with our current royals, as I'll be doing with the historical royals. So there's the showdown with Harry and Camilla, they're saying. And, we know that Harry did not see Camilla when he went back to see the king. They say Camilla wasn't there, or he didn't see her. I believe Harry is in a position now where, he thinks that he still has a hold to his father because he is the king's son. While that is true, this is the king's now wife. So, her stance on everything is going to trump yours. You're no longer in a position of power when it comes to the king and his relationship with his wife, Camilla. And that's part of the blow for Harry because he doesn't feel that he has a relationship, a cordial relationship with Camilla, because he's written about it in his book, Spare, right? We know he's feeling salty about that whole relationship. But how is he going to move forward with the relationship with the king and not really able to get along with now the king's, this is his wife, who she is, the king is relying on her heavily. I mean, so much so that she's even having to take a break, I heard, because she is exhausted from having to do so much work. And now she's taking a break from some of her duties. Um, they're saying that uh, Camilla was upset about Harry coming back for that, coming to see the king. And I have to put myself in Camilla's shoes. And I would, now we don't know for sure, but allegedly, I mean, who knows? But I would be like, you need to go kick rocks. What in God's green earth are you even doing here? Why are you here? That would be my stance if I were Camilla. And I know the king is probably like, well, I have to see my son, and he probably has some regrets about things. At least I've read that he has about Harry's upbringing and all those things. But at the same time, looking at what Harry has done to the family and to his wife, the king has to start looking like, okay, this is a tough love kind of a situation. You're not the kind of son that I can just love like unconditionally now, because you've done some things. It's going to have to be tough love when it comes to you now. Tough love. And so Harry is in this position now, where apparently they're saying that he had like this attitude when he came to see the king, and they're just trying to put Harry in his place, because I think he thinks he's still a part of that circle, because the audacity to even think that you could come back as a part-time royal to help out. Like, the idea that even came into your head. Like, you had the nerve to think in your head that you could come back. Like, you thought really it was okay to think that you could come back and help out. Why not? I'm a prince. You're my papa. I'll come help out. You're a prince that have done some things. You're a prince that we can't quite kind of like trust you. The trust has been broken. So things are not the same. And this is how you can see how he does not understand what he has done, because he still thinks he's in the circle. Harry thinks he is still in this circle, and he's not. And I cannot understand for the life of me why he thought he could even go and help out. And it's hard because they've got a slim down monarchy now. But Harry, you're certainly not the go-to person in this moment. Oh no, you're not the go-to. You better go to your job. You better go to where your job at. Because you certainly ain't playing prince here in England. You're not the king in this country, or the prince in this country. You better go take your pretending prince butt back to America and pretend to be a prince there, because we don't need you here. We don't need you. So just get to skipping and go kick some rocks while you're at it, right? The audacity of this man. The audacity. Yeah, but he let this woman, fool him, and that's the problem. Okay, so Harry has, blamed, Camilla for the breakup of the marriage between his mother and the king, and he branded Camilla as dangerous, evil, and a villain. Okay. Now I'm going to be very transparent and honest with you all. Of course, I felt a special kind of way towards Camilla. But here's the thing, and this is very key. And this is, I think, something that even Harry could learn from. Okay? Because it's all about what do I always say? Learn something. Go learn something. Okay? Because that's the only way you can improve your life, is when you learn. And Harry could learn something from Camilla if he could just open up his eyeballs, just open them up a little bit and think. Hold on, I have to get me some water. Feeling parched. Okay. And thank you to everyone that buys me coffee. I make my trips to Starbucks. I love getting your tips, and I appreciate them very much, because I am a Starbucks junkie. Yes, I am. And Otis loves the little pup cups. So whenever I go to Starbucks, Otis gets a pup cup and he loves it. So thank you for that. I want to make sure I send out all of my thank yous because you guys are amazing and I really do appreciate you. Okay. Okay, so he branded her these things, and he also accused Camilla of leaking stories about the royals to the British press, and he also talked about how her getting her reputation rehabilitated, calling her a home wrecker, getting that image, you know, into a better light because even myself, like I was saying, had felt a special kind of way towards Camilla and my Diana because I was very loyal to Diana. But what we have to see with Camilla is with everything that she went through, she never once said a word. She took it. She's just got jabbed and punched and punched and punched. And she kept her head up high and she kept doing the work. And she just did what she had to do with her, of course, her relationship with the king, being there with him, or at the time, Prince, making him happy. But she didn't retaliate against people. She didn't try to make an excuse. She didn't do anything that would give people cause to want to counter anything that she did because she didn't do anything. She just took it. And I really honestly don't know that I could have. Because imagine the vitriol and the hate that she got and how people just how people treated her. And here she is just drawn to the man that she loves. And the king is drawn to her, and the reality is that the king and Diana, they had an arranged marriage. And the real true love was between Charles and Camilla. And as unfortunate as that is for Diana, that's basically what it was. And it's so sad because we all loved and still do Diana. I mean, it's just very sad that this young, impressionable girl had to be thrown in as this, I mean, bride to a man that really didn't love her. And I look at the king's position as well, that he was just doing what he had to do as the heir, and his position was compromised as well because he was told who to marry. And it's one of those tragedies that you can only look back on it and think what it was and how tragic it was, and move forward in like, well, what's happening now. The good thing is, Diana left a great legacy. She left a legacy, and she definitely touched me as an American woman from over in across the pond. She touched this little Black American girl's heart, and my life has been enriched by knowing Diana and everything that she represented. So while a lot of things were bad that came, from that, there are a lot of good things too, and Diana brought so much joy to so many people. I mean, just the ability to do the things that she was able to do because people just were so drawn to her. Like that's just not a common thing. And I just look at how, Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, thinks she can replicate that. And that's why I get so upset when people try to put Meghan on that pedestal like she's another Diana. No, she ain't. No, she ain't. She ain't like my Diana. And how dare you try to come to America to pretend to be like Diana? That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I'm going to have something to say about that. So you ain't gonna come over here to America perpetrating your nonsense. You're not going to do it, Meghan Markle. Because I'm gonna speak out against you. Mm-hmm. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. So yeah, so she's taking it. Camilla has taken it. Um, And she's been the kind of person that has risen above the hate. She has made the best out of her life circumstances. And now she's in a position of power and privilege because she paid the price. She paid the price. Harry has never been able to sacrifice to pay the price for anything that he feels that he should get now because he's paid some kind of price. Okay, sure, you served in the military, somewhat protected, mind you, because you're a part of the monarchy. You had a you know what do they call it, fatwa on you. They wanted to, there are certain things that would have been great for people or those that would want to do harm to you in the military. So he didn't even have an average military, uh, uh, how do you say, a military stint in the military. Like you weren't like the average person in the military. You still have some protections. Like as much as people say they admire what you did in the military, it still wasn't like a commoner. Okay, and that's not no fault to Harry's, but it just wasn't. And it's commendable for you to want to fight and serve your country, but it's just really not really the same. Okay, so Harry, you really haven't paid the price for anything that would warrant people wanting to give you privilege that you think you deserve. Okay, he's delusional. Delusional. So here, they're saying now that Harry especially is not wanted back now because they also saw when he went to England to see his father, he used it as a publicity stunt. He used it as an opportunity to, say during the Invictus Games, the pre Invictus Games event that he had, the interview that he had with GMA. He was able to talk about seeing his father during that. And you have to look at all of that in context to this is all PR for you. You're going to England, even though he went and saw his father. Why did we even have to know he went? If he truly, truly, truly went to see his father because he loved his father and was concerned, why was it announced? Why did it become a part of the PR to pay his bills? You see what I'm saying? So even in the idea that he went to see his father, it was on the backs of the PR push for his work to make money. And that is what has put him in such a low level stance that he'll never be welcomed back into this special circle. And Camilla now has risen above this. And so to get back to the point about what Harry could learn from Camilla, he can learn how to shut his mouth. And when people show them how they feel about you and you don't like it, shut your mouth. Shut it up. Because you're not in a position to say anything because you chose to leave England. You chose. And being able to accept responsibility for your choices means you shut up and you take it. And you don't blame anybody. You don't go write books about it. You don't go and try to make people feel that they should give you taxpayer funded special security. No, you just say, oh, okay, I lost that special security. Oh, okay. And you just get on with life because that's because you made the choice, man. And all the choices and things that Harry's doing, this is how we know he doesn't get it, and he's slowly, I believe, waking up to his errors, his mistakes. Okay, they're saying that the family feud is so deep that um her okay on the humiliation is just okay. So there's a lot of okay. So we remember when the king I'm sorry, Queen Elizabeth and Philip when they were ill and well, in old age, and Prince Philip was in the hospital, and Harry and Meghan still did that Oprah interview. So they did things at a time when they should not have because of what was happening back over in the United Kingdom, what was happening with your family. Why would you put that added stress? And so now we have Charles, and we have Catherine, who are having health issues. Harry has not backed down from anything, still going over to the United Kingdom, still doing what he is doing. He is not making it better. As a matter of fact, I believe he's still making it worse because he's not trying to backtrack in a way that's meaningful. Everything that he is doing is just making things worse and worse. Okay? Okay. I got a super chat. I'll get to that in a second. So, Harry's in a position now where when he goes back to the United Kingdom, Camilla is now the head, and she is going to be the one who is going to show Harry that he's not welcome. And this is where there's going to be always this friction and problems with Harry when he's back in England, because Camilla is the gatekeeper to the king, folks. Okay. Isn't that something? She's the gatekeeper. Because she could be like, hey, look, honey, Charles, I know that's your son, but let's just remember what he's done to me. And let's recognize that he is not making things better for you and your health. And she could keep it where it needs to be, level headed, for the king to have these barriers put up because he doesn't have a good relationship with Camilla. So as long as he doesn't have this relationship with Camilla, he's not really going to have a good relationship with his father because that's his father's wife. And showing your disdain for her, putting it in a book, saying these things that you have said about her, doesn't put you anywhere near being back in that circle. It doesn't really give you any privilege to even show your face back over in the United Kingdom in a way that's meaningful. You can come back, sure, but are you going to come back here with meaning and with true purpose? As long as you are on the path that you are with Camilla, your purpose, everything about you is not really belongs here. It can't be like it used to be because Harry has changed that forever. Okay. Just saying, folks. Just saying. So this is part of the problem that we have too. Oh my goodness, this is I just think about all the things that's going on with this, and stress the kids of Harry and Meghan. Our message. See, yes. So Camilla sees Harry as the person that can make her husband not well again. He's the one that can make problems still for her husband and for his health. And you all remember what I said about the article that I read in the Business Insider. I believe that King Charles's health is a lot more serious than we know. And I know we don't know for sure, but the article that I read from this very reputable publication, they were saying that, and it's not me speaking, but they were saying that the king has 6 months to live. That's what they were saying. I guess there was some intelligence or some, I don't know how they gathered this information, but they had information on his health, and they said it was not good. And then there was also this gentleman who had predicted the queen's death, and she died on the day he predicted. Like, I just found that out. And then there's also more speculation about the king, and I'm not going to go into that, but there's just, and then you look at the historical things about things, like people like the king is very historical figurehead. So his prognosis, his health, everything like that, like, it's just up for speculation all the time because of who he is. And you think about someone like Harry and his relationship with his dad, and your dad's illness now, like, and you're forever like gone to this foreign country living now, and you no longer are residing in the country. Like, this is how important it is for me. Like, I lived all over the world, all over the world. And I finally came back to my home state in Ohio for one reason, folks. The only reason, the only reason that I'm still in Ohio is because my parents are up in age and I want to be here in the last years of my parents' lives. Should I live longer than them? Well, my father has already passed, and I have the most special moment with my father. Had I not lived here and that happened, I probably would be beside myself with guilt. But on the day my dad passed, I went to see him in the hospital, and I knew when I left that hospital, I knew that was going to be my last day seeing my dad. I knew it. I went home, and sure enough, my dad passed that night. That's why I'm here in Ohio still, because of my relationship to my parents. And I just want to be here. Imagine Harry now, not living in his country, living in America, not able to go to just be with his father and have a relationship with his father and his family, with his children, because of the nonsense of Megan. She's caused it. She's caused it. Okay, I'm sorry. I just could go on and on. Okay, thank you for your super sticker, CS. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I really appreciate that. Okay. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Hi, Otis. Hi, Otis. Hi, Otis. Cheryl Weber, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. And then I had a comment up here from Lauren. Okay, Lauren. Thank you so much. Okay, so she says, we expected change in regard to the horrible traitors against the people. Queen, Prince Philip, now Queen Camilla, and Prince William, and Princess Catherine. Epic fall for the monarchy. Absolutely. And thank you so much, Lauren. And that's exactly what I'm saying. This is epic. Epic what is happening right now. And what I find interesting is that how we're watching this all in real time, Lauren, right? And so now we can see, okay, what is Harry going to do now that his father is very ill and he's not in his country? How is he moving forward in a life in America with this woman, this very pretentious woman, mind ya, very pretentious, looking to be in with the crowd of people that you despise? Because we know she out trying to get in with the folks, the Hollywood people. And the things that I've heard from staff that have worked with her, oh yeah, I'm gonna say allegedly, but yeah, she's not a nice person at all. We know this. And so it comes around. It comes around. So thank you, Lauren. Alums, I believe that's how you say it. I really appreciate that. Okay. So apparently, so now we have William, who we heard is never going to allow Harry back in. Like William, I mean, I just look at William and I say, here, I mean, William is not going to put up with Harry. William is not going to put up with it. And now we have Camilla and we have William. These are the two main gatekeepers to Harry. So he has these two people who want nothing really to do with him. And so his access to his father and his position to come back as a part-time temporary royal is null. Like no one's allowing you to come back for anything. However, people apparently really want the king to make some drastic changes. They do want, they're saying Harry needs to be stripped of his titles. He needs to be removed from the line of succession and cut from the monarch's $2 billion will. Yeah, and they're saying that, yeah, Harry is a palace pariah. So Harry has put himself in a position now where he's removed from his father in a way that is meaningful. because his father's very ill. He's removed from his home country. I mean, we really, 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 really have to think about these layers. Because when you understand these different layers that Harry is going through, it can help you really understand what's happening with Harry in his life right now, mentally. Like, like what is actually happening for him in his life. And we know having his relationship with this woman, Megan, is just not making things better. He's resentful. He has things that he struggled with his whole life. It's not like he had an upbringing where he was able to cope well. He's got poor coping skills. This man don't know how to cope. I mean, he got issues trying to deal with certain things in his life, most of his life. So when you look at the compounding issues that he's dealing with now with poor coping skills, that's a recipe for disaster right there, folks. Disaster. Okay? So I don't know how you overcome all these layers you're going through, because let's look at them. We've got his distance from his father, who is very sick and frail and is in a position where he could suddenly not he could pass very rather quickly. And you're living in a foreign country now. You're living miles, hundreds of miles away. So you're not going to have that up close and personal relationship with someone who you were attached to because of how your mother passed away, how you felt guilt from the passing of your mother. Imagine the guilt you will feel now from the passing of your father in this circumstance now. Disaster. Disaster. Because he, like his brother, felt a lot of guilt because they were not there. They did not take that phone call from Diana. Had they taken that phone call, they probably would not feel as much guilt because they would have spoken with her before she passed. But because Harry was so eager to go play with his friends, he did not want to talk to his mother. And then like that, she was gone. Harry's in the same situation again, because now he's in a position where he'll not be there during the last years of his father's life. He can come visit for 30 minutes. What's 30 minutes? What's 30 minutes to a relationship with your father who is very ill and dying? And I say dying because we're all dying. Literally, we're all dying. But your father is plagued with an illness that is speeding up that process, and you're not there. So you had guilt with your mother's passing. What is this going to do for you when you're not there, as your father is ailing? These are the times where you need to be there talking, reminiscing, experiencing, having those personal one-on-one talks about life, bringing meaning to your relationship. The time is now. The time is now to be with your papa. The time is now to build the bonds, show him your children, have these uplifting moments. But what is Harry doing? He's writing books. He's trying to pay his bills, interviewing to get a PR push for his interview with GMA. Yeah, and say, oh, I went and saw him. Like using that as a part of his money-making endeavor. Megan and all the things that she's doing with her pap shots coming out, doing things on the day that the king is doing, how she plays games. I mean, it just whenever it comes out, it just is so petty to me. It's really petty. But like the time is now. And for you, Harry, you're not taking that same phone call that you didn't take with your mother Diana. You're not taking it with your father either. Because your father is here now and you still are not there. The first time it wasn't your fault. You were a kid. You wanted to play. Who could fault you for that? But this time you're an adult You know better. You know I need to make the most of this now because I lost it when I didn't do that with my mother. I can't, fault myself for having missed an opportunity to speak with my mom before she passed away. But now, Harry, it's your fault. You're the one who's passing up the opportunity because you chose to allow your narcissistic, vindictive, evil, hating wife to persuade your stupid butt to go live in America as a pretend prince in the outside circle. That's what you did. And now you're going to have the biggest regret of your life. The biggest regret of your life is coming your way. You think it's bad now? Wait. You just wait. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lauren, for your super chat. Let me take a sip of my water. Okay, so Lauren wants to know, do you believe William will make the changes the king won't, despite what was done to his mother and father? How much more can Harry do with nothing? I believe it's going to be a new day. Yes, when William is in charge. Absolutely, Lauren. He has made that somewhat clear, I believe, just because he won't even speak with Harry. And that's what Harry needs. Because if he had any sense to him, he would know his brother loves him, right? Like his brother tried to warn you, like, what you doing, man? What you doing? You gonna marry that woman? I mean, William, he took his time marrying Catherine, and we know Catherine. She came on the up and up. Like we knew, okay, you can marry that girl anytime. You gonna do good because we know that she's just a good woman. Okay, but he still waited, even though, yeah, she still seemed like the kind of girl that would do good. But he even still waited with her, and Harry can't. So yeah, so I think Harry is definitely going to be feeling the brunt of William. He is going to feel it. And I mean, and as far as your other part of your question, Lauren, about how much more can Harry do with nothing? Um, Harry needs to find something to continue to hold on. He really is lost. He doesn't really have anything more that he can do. I mean, at this point for him now, I don't even know that he sees how it's going down. He he really is in a position where he needs to have a serious dramatic smackdown. I wish I had my sound effect, but he needs a smackdown, because I've had my, you guys all know where I got that from, my smackdown. I'm gonna tell you in a second because there's a reason why I say that. Roxanne Newman, thank you, dear. Thanks for being you. Oh, thanks for being you, Roxanne. Thank you. Mwah! I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, I appreciate you guys so much. Okay. And this is why I call it a smackdown. You all need to understand the context because I'm not just saying smackdown to say smackdown. There's a reason. There's a reason why I say smackdown. You want to know why? You want to know why? Well, my friends, I had a very, 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 very big smackdown, and mine was very physical. Okay. So let me tell you what happened when I got a smackdown. And this is why I do my smackdowns in not a physical way, but as a hyper what's the word, superficial, just like on things that are not physically tangible, but like, a smackdown. So this is where the smackdown came from. So when I was about 10 years old, I was riding my bike and I was at my grandma's house. I remember it so well. And I was with some friends, and we were riding our bike somewhere. Okay, we were going somewhere, and we had to go through like this alley to get to where we were going. Like we had to pass through this area to get to the other side. Well, there were these kids in the area. Like we couldn't get past it because these kids were there. And we were telling them to move out the way. And they were like, no, no. Did you say no? Well, I'm riding my bike and I need to get over there. You need to move. And I'll never forget it, y'all. It was a boy, right? Because see, in my head, I'm bad. I'm bad. I've always been like this kind of person where, I'm speaking up. You gonna try to diss me? No, what? Like I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna say something because I can't allow my ego to be bruised. Okay, mm-mm. And so, he was like, no, and I was like, oh no, you're not gonna let us get by. So no one did anything but me, my big mouth. Okay, my big mouth. So this boy said to me, he picked up a stick and he put the stick. Let me see. Do I got something like a stick? Let me show you something. He picked up a stick and he put the stick on his shoulder. He put the stick on his shoulder like this. It was a stick. And he said, okay, knock the stick off my shoulder. Knock the stick off my shoulder if you think you bad. Okay? So what do y'all think I did? What you think I did? You think I hesitated? You think I thought, well, shoot, I better not do that. I better just not knock that stick off his shoulder. I better just turn around and go home. I didn't even think twice. I knocked that stick off his shoulder, and before I knew it, I was on the ground. Practically on the ground. I mean, that boy smacked me so hard across my face, I was seeing stars. I was like, what in the world what? What happened? I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, okay. I got back on my bike. I turned around and I went back home and I didn't say another word. I got smacked down like for real, for real. And that's when I knew I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad. I had to have someone do something. While I don't condone what he did, I don't condone it. I really don't. It's like wrong. If I ever saw that boy get to that, I'd tell him something. But what it taught me was, you can't try to think that you can just be all big and bad and no one really show you how you're not really big and bad. And I think Harry needs to have someone show him he's not so big and bad. He needs someone to show him you stop it. Enough is enough. We're not taking this anymore. Okay? And that's the problem with Harry and everything. And that's why I do a smackdown, because at that moment I never became that kind of person that just knew I was bad. I was bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. I thought I had to rethink. Am I bad? Am I bad? I mean, bad in a good way. Like I'm tough. I'm good. Like I had to reevaluate that voice in my head. I don't know if I'm that person anymore, but I know one thing I did change. It changed me not, having that smackdown, because I never thought in a million years that would happen. And I think Harry needs to have that experience. He needs to have that. I never thought in a million years they would do that to me. I'm the prince. How dare they? you know? So I think when you get these situations where people kind of like show you straighten up. Yeah, stop thinking that way. Stop doing what you're doing. Just stop it. You're showing out now. You're not allowed to do that. Show some respect. When people give you these, these smackdowns, these situations where you need to like snap out of it, snap out of your stupidness and your ways of thinking. It usually is for a good reason, and you need to learn something from that experience to evolve. Could you imagine in my life now if I was still thinking I'm bad, I'm bad? my life would be a disaster. Okay, so you gotta learn how to humble yourself, to come down. I teach my children all be humble, show humility. Okay, you cannot go through life thinking you are all that. You gotta you put yourself in a position to understand how other people are feeling when you do these kinds of things. Now, to that guy, that kid that hit me, like, what was his point? Like, why did he not let me cross? I don't know, but I mean, he was just someone that thought, well, he's better. He's a lot bigger, badder than I am. So I thought, you know, this was one of those situations where I just use it as a learning experience, and I think it, more than anything, Harry needs that. Um, okay, so I say all this to say that Harry is in a position now where he doesn't have a good relationship with Camilla, neither with William, and he's going through time right now in a way that is essentially like that last phone call with his mother, Diana. That was before not his fault. This time it will be his fault. And I don't know how you make this right. I don't know how you can make it right unless that woman you're married to has a shift. And we know that's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I've been listening to this podcast with Dr. Phil, and he was talking about narcissistic personality people and the different kinds of narcissism. And I'm thinking about doing a video where I listen to what he talked about and showing how Megan has shown all these characteristics that Dr. Phil is talking about, and to put some kind of perspective behind that, because Harry is married to the kind of woman that doesn't support him for his betterment. If Megan were a good wife, she would see Harry's living a life now where his father is very ill. Harry needs to be with his father. If Megan were a good wife, she would see Harry, my husband needs to be with his father. Let's all go live back in England so that my husband can be with his father during this terminal time in his life, right? Um, and that's the thing. Harry is with a woman that doesn't want the best for him. And because he's living a life with a woman that is so self-serving and narcissistic, she is literally causing Harry's downfall in a very big way. Like, his downfall is already happening by his own choices, but Megan is compounding that with some dynamite. Like, she's put more on top of it to make his downfall even more like dramatic. It's ending in a way that is going to, if anything, break this man in a very bad serious way. And this is why you see these articles coming out right now with Harry is trying to let me see the article. There was one that I just saw. um One second. Let's see here. What's this article? Yes, Prince Harry putting pressure on Meghan Markle that's causing tension in the marriage. Um, Meghan Markle's biggest fear amid Prince Harry's visits home to see his family amid Charles's cancer. Um, and Meghan is feeling uneasy about Harry's recent trip to the United Kingdom. Yes, because it's not good for Meghan and all what she's trying to do for Harry to have these relationships with his family. It's not good for Meghan for Harry to want to be back in the United Kingdom, because that's going to just make her plans not work out. And this is why we talk about divorce and things, because you can't be in a good relationship with all that we're seeing. You just can't. They can put on their smiles. They can try to make us think otherwise when they come in public and we see them for these events where they have the cameras there. We can read behind those smiles and those hand holding and those constant smiles on Megan's face while she's like, everything she's like, the moment the doors open and she's smiling. She's smiling. Everything she's smiling. Oh, hi, smiling. So, like, she stays in a permanent fake smile that just wants you to just look. Woman, just stop. Just stop. Okay, I'm sick of looking at that stupid smile on your face. It just gets on my nerves, but Harry is not with a wife that wants the best for him. As a matter of fact, she is going to be the opposition to everything that's good for Harry. She's the opposition to all the right choices that Harry needs to be making right now, especially right now. Forget like 4 years ago. Like, no, right now, 2024, your father has been diagnosed with cancer. He needs his relationship. If you're going to be with him, you need to be there like right now. You need to be living there right now. Your children need to be there right now. You are in a position now where you are causing so much harm for your future and your mental health in terms of how you handled this. You're going to be in a spot that's going to be the downfall of you, Harry. As sure as I'm sitting here, because I've been there, done that. I know that experience. Okay. So let me see here. I just want to make another, let me see, point here. And thank you also, everyone, for showing up with me on this Sunday evening. There are some things that are happening. Just a side note, some things that are happening right now with others in Hollywood. I'm sure maybe some of you know or you don't know. So in the entertainment industry right now, there's going to be this documentary coming out about this rapper P. Diddy. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but there are some YouTubers that talk about this, but they also occasionally talk about the royal family. And there are these people that they want to demonize the royals. They want to demonize Princess Catherine and her illness and put out all these things. And just going back to like her privacy and everything. And, I gave it some thought, and yeah, and I can see how, the press can be very demanding, and they're very like just trying to get more out of what's happening with her. And I think it's not okay what's happening with the press and how they're treating her. I think they need to leave her alone. And there are these YouTubers that talk about Hollywood and they bring in this royal stuff, like I said, and I just hate how they're demonizing Catherine and everything that she's going, when this girl has been impeccable with her service to the crown, and she just needs this time to go through some healing, and how there are these mouthpieces out there for Megan to say nasty things. And I think that's why it's important for voices like mine to elevate the royals, because you've got people who are doing exactly what I do and are being very mean and nasty to the people that haven't done anything. I mean, the reason why I say what I say about Megan is because we look at her actions. We can look at everything that she's done. We can look at, especially even her in her situation with her family, Megan's family. I know her family and how she's treated them. So there's good. I mean, am I not thinking logically? how can you how can you excuse Meghan Markle's behavior? That's what these YouTubers are doing. And demonizing Catherine. And all the woman is doing is working her job, going to work every day, taking care of her children, supporting her husband, the future king. And they find fault with that woman who hasn't done anything, but yet you overlook all the nonsense of Meghan Markle. I don't get it. So that's why I feel like, no, this is history in the making. And we're talking about things that are happening. And at the same time, people who are influenced by that woman's bad behavior. We got to talk about it. We're going to keep talking about it as far as I'm concerned. But I'm going to try to bring in other things, historical things to talk about, because you have to do it. And I think people that talk negatively about Catherine, these other YouTubers, it's like, go learn something. Go learn something about Catherine and what she has done, and stop trying to find ways to make up terrible headlines about her and her illness. It's just despicable when I think about, you know, the two royals that are very ill right now, and how Meghan has put these horrible things about them in that book with Scobie about racism, you know. And it just saddens me, because it's people like Megan that don't make this world a better place. It's people like her and her choices that really make things really dark and evil and sinister, because you're just out because you're so selfish, and you don't look out for other people, and you don't try to take the stance to try to get along with your family, even though you may not like certain things. But just to be on a public stage and just being nasty and evil the way you are, and you are a big figurehead, like you get a lot of people that know who you are, and you behave like this. I'm a small little fish trying to say what I'm saying, but Megan, she does things and it's amplified, and it's not good amplification. It's not good. And as a person that educates young people, I just can't stand it. I'm appalled at it. I'm disgusted. And I feel very passionate to speak out against it, because it's just not right. It's not right. Yeah, and to that respect about, the others in Hollywood, Tyler Perry being one of them, who is the godfather to Lily, and how he has demonized the royal family, about the things that he said in a very indirect, not so kind way, where, I wouldn't go over there, and well, why not? Maybe you'd learn something. Go over there, understand something about royalty, learn something, try to get a perspective that, well, it was nice that they have allowed this union, you know. And I could go off on a rant about this, but it just shows you that, as much as we say and put out there the smackdown that Meghan is getting, you've got people trying to block those smackdowns and justify it, like, with the nerve. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. All right, everyone. So I'm about ready to wrap this up. I just wanted to come on and talk and let you all know, once again, to those that joined later, I have an interview with Kirby Summers. She's a researcher and author. She's talked a lot about and written books on the Jeffrey Epstein and other things around corruption and people in high places that have done things that are not good, in terms of things that I don't want to say here, because it has to do with those things, that the censorship that you get on YouTube. But if you go on her website, kirbysummers.com, you'll see this in my video. I'll be releasing it. It should be tomorrow. If you watch that, you'll understand the things in there. Really enjoyed speaking with her and learning a lot about things that I hadn't thought about. And so, with that said, and I don't have much more to say about that, but just that. Also, join my raffle, PDINA.net. If it doesn't go through, type www.pdina.net. Enter my free raffle, Banksy of England notes that I have with Princess Diana, Princess of Wales. All these years I was saying Princess Diana, and I learned from you all that it's Diana, Princess of Wales. Even when I lived there, I didn't even know this when I lived in England, but these are the notes I'll be giving away. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to give away 5 of them. So there's 5 chances to win one of these, and it's free. So go on my website, enter it for free, and enter that, subscribe, like video, and say hi. I do go through the comments. I may not respond to all of them, but I do go through my comments, and I appreciate you all so very, very much. You have enriched my life tremendously, so much so that I'm doing more behind the scenes that I'm going to be bringing with my private Patreon account. I'm on Patreon, and I'm also my members channel on YouTube. Gives you some more things that I talk about and do that are within my personal life. Yes, and with that said, I want to thank you so much for being with me here on this Sunday, beautiful Sunday here in Ohio. And yeah, go make the best. Love your parents, your family. Be kind, and try to just enjoy the loved ones in your life while you have the time, because time is one of those things you'll never get it back, and make the most of it, because you know that's why I do what I do, because I think it's important. And unfortunately, Harry's going to see it's not going to be good for him, but we're just going to watch it as it happens, right? Okay, so thanks everybody for being with me today on this Sunday. And Mr. Otis is on the floor, sound asleep. Otherwise, I bring him up here to say goodbye to you all. But thank you so much for being with me. Mwah! Thanks for all the super chats. Thank you for the super stickers. I appreciate you so very much. And I'll see you in my videos this week, as my video with Kirby Summers is going to be coming out. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye, everybody.